So, you're thinking about getting a CFA or a CFP, but you're not sure which one is right for you. Both are well-respected designations, but they lead to very different career paths. In this video, we're going to break it all down: career opportunities, study time, cost, and everything in between. By the end, you'll know exactly which one fits your goals. Let's get to it. First up, let's talk about career paths. The CFA, or Chartered Financial Analyst, is the gold standard for investment professionals. If you want to work in asset management, hedge funds, investment banking, or even as a research analyst, the CFA is the way to go. On the other hand, the CFP, or Certified Financial Planner, is designed for those who want to help individuals manage their personal finances. Think retirement planning, estate planning, tax strategies, and financial advising. If you want to work directly with clients, helping them build long-term wealth, CFP might be a better fit. So in short, CFA equals institutional finance and investments, and CFP equals personal finance and financial advising. Two very different paths. Now, let's talk about how hard these exams are. Spoiler alert, both are tough, but the CFA is just a different beast. The CFA has 3 levels, and each one requires 300 plus hours of study. It's also known for its brutal pass rates. Level 1 alone hovers around 35 to 40%. It takes most people 3 to 4 years to pass all 3 levels. But to list out the requirements, to become a CFA, you need a bachelor's degree, passing all 3 levels of the CFA, the hardest part, and 4,000 hours of qualified work experience in finance. Meanwhile, the CFP is just one exam, and most candidates study between 150 to 200 hours. The pass rate is around 60%, so it's still challenging, but far more manageable than the CFA. Most people complete the CFP process in 12 to 18 months. But the checklist to become a CFP is a bachelor's degree, completing the CFP courses, passing the 1 CFP exam, and 6,000 hours of qualified work experience or 4,000 hours of qualified work experience under a CFP. My colleague just became a CFP and it took him 12 months from start to becoming a CFP. I must say that the CFP also gives exam results instantaneously on exam day, while the CFA takes almost 2 months after you take the exam. So even though it has more steps, if you want the quickest path to a certification, the CFP wins. But if you're ready for a multi-year grind and want the investment prestige in the industry, the CFA is the way to go. As far as topics, I won't list them out one by one since that will take a little too long, but I just want to point out the simple comparison, which is that the CFA has much more detailed focus on investments across the entire spectrum, while the CFP is much more focused on planning. But let's talk about an important one, which is how much will these cost you? The CFA will run you between $4,000 and $6,000 in total. That's including exam fees and study materials. But there's also the opportunity cost, which is that you're probably going to be grinding for a full 3 years while working full-time. The CFP, on the other hand, costs a bit less. It's around $2,000 to $3,000 for the entire coursework and exam. So the CFP is cheaper and faster. So which one should you choose? Here are 3 arguments. The first one is that with the rise of index funds and low-cost mutual funds, extensive individual security analysis might be in lower demand, and people building wealth by themselves looking for advisors might be in higher demand. So technically, CFP might be more dominant in the future. The second one is that if you want a career in investment management, hedge funds, or research, and you're willing to grind for several years, you should go for the CFA. And 3, if you want to work in financial planning, wealth management, or personal finance and prefer a faster and client-focused path, you should go for the CFP. But one last question, kind of personal in the comparison, is for someone like myself, if you're doing wealth management like I'm doing, why would you do the CFA like I'm doing instead of the CFP? My answer is that number 1, because the higher you go in wealth management, as you dig into ultra high net worth, the investments get more and more complex, and the ability to know deep investment analysis becomes very useful, which is a point for the CFA. The CFA, for example, will dig very deep into hedge fund strategies, which is something you can discuss with clients. The CFP, on the other hand, just simply won't do that. And the second part is that I believe a CFA can do everything a CFP can, but not vice versa. I'm not a CFA, I'm still a long way to go. But from what I've seen with people holding both of these certifications and where I want to go, I think the effort for CFA suits me better. But time, cost, and opportunity cost is something you should take into account. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments and I'll check them out. Peace!